All right. Hey, friends, welcome. You have joined me on this Friday with my good friend and client, Donna. And one of the things that has been so absolutely 100% amazing with Donna is her amazing transformation. But I don't want to steal her thunder. Donna, would you just introduce yourself, who you are, where you're from, and all that other stuff?
Sure, sure. Hi, I'm Donna. I live in the Chicago area. I should specifically say in Yorkville, small town here.
Yeah.
Yes, and yeah, I've been on a journey of working out and losing weight my entire life. Until I met Luke, things changed.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit more about. We have to go back to our first interaction. You reach out to me, and can you just go through that process of even making the decision to move forward? Because I think it was a really interesting process for you, and why you reached out to me in the first place.
Yes, yes. So um, my circumstances had changed back in 2020. I was experiencing a lot of trauma from an emotionally destructive marriage, and I was experiencing tremors in my legs and my arms, specifically when I'm standing. So I was really concerned about my health, and I saw that if I didn't do something, because I used to be able to work out, I was gaining weight at the time because I was just very immobile. My life, like I say, it was a really hard season. And so I'm like, okay, the doctors were putting me through different therapies, medications, and I wasn't sleeping. I was always tired. And I'm like, I've got to do something for myself.
Mm,
And as I've learned to be my own advocate, because things were just not, the old things I was doing weren't working. The kind of diet programs. Like I say, I was just at my edge of what I could do, for
mm,
myself. So I started looking for personal trainers, and because I thought, if I can find someone that will just work with me and know that I have these limitations, I'm not able to, do what I used to do, I can't stand very long, and just, so that was my focus, was find someone that would help me. So I only looked in my area, but then I started to go, well, you know what, I can't find anybody in my area. I felt like I've already kind of knew everybody. And
yeah.
I'm like, okay, let's kind of reach out to some other area. So I reached out to Naperville. Okay, that's a little bit further than where I lived. And I saw your website. And so I just dig in, I look around, and you had people on there that lost 15 pounds. Well, that was kind of where I was at. And I thought, wow, he's actually showcasing people that only lost 15 pounds. Any place I went, they always thought I was on maintenance. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, but I don't want this extra weight. I don't feel, comfortable.
Mm,
And, my clothes were just not fitting. So I was like, all right, again, the movement, losing weight. And then when I read your bio and you said you had a relationship with Jesus,
mm,
which is just, that just was like, okay, I've got to talk to this trainer. I have to
mm,
talk to him.
mm,
So, because as I, was beginning this journey, I had gotten down on my hands and knees and I just prayed. I was like, all right, Lord, you've gotten me through to this point. Is this it for me? Is this all I can do? But I really felt that there was something more. There was something more that, my body might be able to do, but I was scared.
mm. Yeah,
I
that's
was,
and that's a it's a big piece for you. I appreciate you sharing all that. I think one of the things that was really evident was not only were you scared, but uh, your hands were kind of up. And I just remember hearing. Um, I remember one thing that you said that stood out to me. Basically, your doctor was like, "You're just gonna have to figure out how to live with this." And so, almost like just prepare your life for dealing with this and never really having an option to get rid of it because we don't know what to do for you. You don't know what to do. So just deal with it. Right. And
Right.
what's been so awesome for me and hearing your story was like, um, I remember the email, you sent me an email, and after we had our, our consultation, you sent me an email. You're like, well, Luke, I mean, are you trained to do these things? Are you gonna, because this disease, man, it's crazy. I got to make sure. And if you remember my response, I was like, hey, Donna, you have two choices moving forward. It's like we either start to address the body and its core needs and see what the immune system has been doing and why your body's been this way and really start to give it the things that it needs to heal itself, or you're going to be spinning around and more and more doctors' offices for the rest of your life. And so that's your decision. And I remember you wrote back, you're like, fine, I'm in. It was like this full out commitment. And one of the things that we said last week, and I thought was really powerful for you, and it was one thing I noticed for you. I said, hey, Donna, let's go back to the one thing, because we're going to get to all the things that you've seen, the changes that you've made here in a second. But one of the things that I told you, I said, Donna, the reason why you are here today is it started with one choice. And that one choice was just to say, hey, let's move forward. I don't know where this is going. Everybody else is telling me this is hopeless, but you had one choice and you made one choice to move forward. So I want you to kind of tell us a little bit more about your experience. So you make the decision to move forward. Walk through some of the things that really instrumental for you to start seeing some changes in your health.
Yes. Well, yeah, as I said, I was very tired. I was always fatigued. I was, I wasn't sleeping, so, I mean, that was, part of my fatigue. But even if I felt I slept, I, was like around, whatever certain time in the afternoon, my energy was zapped. It was gone. And I felt like I wasn't really doing anything.
Mm.
Um, and part of it too was, I mean, the medications that I was on,
Mm.
I really made that choice because I didn't need them. It wasn't like, okay, if I stopped taking them, it would be against the doctor's orders. They just were
Yeah.
hoping that would help my the tremors be less. Okay.
Mm.
And I when I got on this program, I stopped the medication. And I I when I got the supplements and then the water intake, oh my goodness, I was like, how am I going to do this? Because I usually only drank maybe 8 to 16 ounces a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was starting to prep because I was like, okay, I'm gonna start this. You say start on Monday, right? I started to prep with the water for the weekend. And I looked at the scale on Monday. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've already lost weight and I haven't even started the food program. I mean,
Mm.
literally, I felt like I lost like 5 pounds just
Mm.
in water. But
Mm.
the eating, when I realized, the menu, it was simple, yet for me it was different. I was eating foods like, the stuff you get in the Weight Watchers, the Weight Watcher processed foods. I was on Jenny Craig, I was using the, those meals and
Mm.
anything I can pop in the microwave, anything I can pop in the microwave. I just wanted it quick. I ate fast and I was done.
Mm.
But in your program, you helped me to slow down, chew my food. That was huge. Like chew. And I had all these stomach issues.
Mm.
I have not had any stomach issues on your program. And I'm eating food that I never could eat. Fruit, I could never eat fruit. I could never have vegetables that were like a certain time of day. I had to eat everything kind of later in the evening or, at
Mm.
night. So I would starve all day. And then at night I would eat, but then I would just pound, whatever I could get in my mouth,
Mm.
and I think just the rhythm of the food, it just completely changed. I have no stomach problems.
Mm.
I was, sleeping.
Mm.
The fatigue, it was going away. It was
Mm.
like I felt I had energy that I never had before.
Mm.
And even from the time, I started with the supplements. I mean, I was very, make sure I took them at the same time and everything. I saw my digestive system and just the weight just started to to leave. And, but I wasn't hungry. I mean, that was the crazy thing. I wasn't even hungry. I was like, wait a second. And then when I look at the food, I'm like, boy, this is a lot. But and then I would hardly be able to finish what you gave me. But when I looked at the portions, the old me looking at the portions, I was like, well, that's not enough. It was just a complete change of my brain of how I eat and what type of portions, and just that the fact that it's satisfying was just huge for me.
Yeah. Well, and Donna, one of the things that's, I love what you said. I think it's crucial. And just to highlight this, I think, guys, when people sit down, it wasn't sleeping. It wasn't like, hey, I was getting 6 hours sleep. I'm like, Donna, like, how much, like, like in one time, like how many hours of sleep were you getting at a given moment?
1 or 2.
All right. So you guys know, like, obviously 1 or 2 hours I mean, that is extremely profound and debilitating for someone to be waking up every night, having to go to the bathroom. But more importantly, what's interesting, Donna, you walk into the doctor's office and the doctor just looks at your medical condition in one aspect that says, oh yeah, well, great. You've got Well, take this medication, right? You've got these symptoms. Take this medication for these symptoms. And no one was helping you address all of these behaviors and habits that were really the foundation of the reasons for some of your conditions, which really, I mean, you walk into the doctor's office, I mean, they're really convinced, hey, you're gonna live this the rest of your life. So for you, and let's take it a step further. So behaviors and habits. I mean, Don, I remember, you remember after I gave you the menu, I think you wrote me an email and you're like, or maybe it was a message and you said, you're like, Luke, I can't do this. I don't cook. I don't, what am I going to, you just start, your anxiety start picking up, like, I don't know how to do this. Like you said, I pop things in the microwave. Like, how am I going to do this? This is way too much. I'm convenient. And what was really key for you was just really helping you reframe those, like you said, simple meals that you can implement that weren't going to require a lot of energy and time. And I remember after your first week, you're like, holy cow, like I'm eating healthy. It's simple for me and profound. And mind you, Donna, you hadn't started exercising. So all of these changes and transformations that were happening for you in your body, your digestion getting better, your sleep improving. By the way, sleep improving. So you went from 1 to 2, waking up every hour. I mean, now after you've done a lot of work, like how long are you sleeping for consistently on an ongoing basis?
Ongoing 4 to 5 hours at a time.
So
literally I get up once.
Which is huge. I mean, to go from 5 or 6 times to waking up through the night.
It is.
I mean, so I mean, Donna, that's and let me take it a step further, because these are all great things, like the behaviors, the habits that you've started to implement that have changed your health and you've started to see results. There's this newfound confidence in you that has been so incredible to see. And it's been just like this is what I live for, right? Is seeing you step in where you walked to me and it was like this hopeless condition. Yeah, just throw your hands up, deal with it. Go to the groups, your support groups, they'll help you out and, coddle you and stuff. And in a sense, like no one was empowering you to step in. And now I step back and I see this powerful woman who's got this confidence and this swagger to like say, I'm owning my health, I'm owning my life, and I feel like I'm going in a great direction. Can you tell us a little bit more about like that experience and what's happening for you in that regard?
It was, I was like, I was at the end of, I've got to just do something for me, something different. And I really feel like just that God just really gave me that strength to just trust. And, not everything that I knew wasn't working. It didn't work. The medications didn't work, not to the, I had side effects from all of them.
mm,
The losing the weight didn't work because as soon as I stopped the program, I gained it.
mm,
The the eating, just the fact that I was like, oh, I thought I was eating healthy. I thought I was the healthiest person. I really did. But I couldn't eat certain foods. I couldn't, there were certain healthy foods I couldn't eat because I had, stomach issues.
mm, mm,
So it really was once being coached by you, having those weekly, bi-weekly, calls and meetings, it really just partnering. I just felt like I had they had my back.
mm,
You had
mm,
my back, Luke. I mean, there were times when I was, and again, I'm going through a hard season, I
mhm,
was, in a separation from, a long-term marriage, and I didn't know how to do this by myself anymore. You're like, I don't
mm,
have anybody to support me, but you were there
mm,
and you allowed me to cry,
mm,
to, express my fears.
mm,
And, but with that, the encouragement, the next step, just take the next step, care for myself, um, you know, giving me these tools, some of these they were little tweaks and tools for me,
mm,
but it allowed me to get to the place where it's like, okay, I'm okay. I can do this.
mm,
So it's just that whole journey from, I didn't go from starting out the gate, oh, I got this. It really was just a step by step process.
mm,
But through that, I was able to just, grow. I mean,
mm,
it was huge to where I'm at today.
mm,
Definitely, the confidence it allowed me to just kind of build, kind of like stepping stones.
mm.
I I had been this way maybe in certain areas of my life, but this was a hard season and I didn't know if I could do this on my own. And I really was so appreciative of your help.
Yeah. So guys, so for those of you who are been on the fence for a long time and you're like, yeah, I got all these excuses of why I shouldn't be addressing my health. Donna, you had every reason in regards to the difficulties that you're going, debilitating disease, incredible, difficulty, hard separation. Literally, your life was like blowing up inside your hands, and for you to step into it took a lot of courage and trust. And it's one of the things I'm just honored to have walked this journey with you and see what you've been able to do, and together some of the things that you've been able to accomplish. And so Don, I want to kind of leave our listeners with kind of like a final point for you. And there's going to be some people who are like listening to this, and they're going to be like, "Man, I'm totally Donna." Um, what would you tell them as the reason why they should move forward and reach out to me and start this journey?
Uh, well, number one, you are the kind of person that sees the I don't know if you call it a weakness or where I could possibly tweak. And I never saw that. So you have just a keen sense of being able to say, you know what, this is really what's going on, or this is what I'd like you to try.
Mm,
And I think that just the main thing is, to step out and trust,
mm,
because you're the expert. I'm not.
mm,
Even though I might come in thinking I was the expert because I thought I
mhm,
do, because I've been through other trainers and I've been through other programs, but you are the expert.
mm,
So just trusting and being able to listen to you and apply what you say.
mm,
Because if I didn't listen and I didn't apply, I would not be in this particular, um, the confidence and the results, the success that you've walked me through.
mm,
So it definitely is. It takes someone to just kind of step, and it might feel like a leap or a jump into uncertainty or unknown. But the thing is, you're there, and it works. The
mm,
success of your program. I mean, I look back. This was back in September. When I started with you. It's sustainable. I'm still eating the same way.
mm,
I can even throw in a few other little extra, protein, pieces or fat, right? We talked about the
mhm.
egg yolk. I
Yep.
wanted to eat that egg yolk, but you know what? And I'm not gaining weight. and I feel amazing. I'm that cane. I have no idea where that cane went. I mean, I was using a cane. My legs are stronger because I'm confident and I'm just a new person. Just the transformation that this program has given me, that you have walked alongside me to help me with, it's huge. I will never be the same. I mean, that old
Wow.
Donna, I mean, it almost just feels like my relationship, with Jesus. It's like he starts from the inside, and, and that's really what it was for me, to start from the inside
Mm,
with you and to trust and go, you know what, you've got my back.
mm,
And the worst case is it's not going to work. It's not the end of the world. But I didn't look at that. I looked at it whereas it's going to work,
mm,
because I'm going to trust the process, and I am going to change, and I am going to get healthy.
mm,
This matters to me. I don't want to be atrophying and sitting on the couch and putting on the pounds because I'm not moving and I don't feel good. And I didn't want to throw in the towel at my age. I mean, I feel like I still have life left, and I still have things I want to do. I want to be able to
mm.
go to other countries,
Yeah.
it's just I just whoever is listening and you have any doubts, um, I tell you what, it is, put those away and trust the process.
Mm,
It really is just amazes me of where I'm at, today, and just the people that see that, my friends, my family, they're
mm,
like, what happened to you? You know,
mm, mm.
that in itself, is really affirming, in this process.
Donna, first off, I just appreciate you. And as you guys can all see, I mean, this was a woman who came in with all sorts of fears, doubts. I mean, literally, her list, her email she sent me of all the things that I needed to have in
Yes.
order to move forward was very detailed. And so I want to, first of all, I just affirm you in what you've done. You did take a huge leap of faith of trusting, especially another man in the process of you going through a hard separation for you. That was so big for you to open yourself up to that for coaching. But more importantly, Donna, you have been one of the most committed clients that I've worked with. I need more Donnas. I need more Donnas who are just like, I'm all in. I don't have any other option. I'm all in. And wherever this goes is going to go. And so it's been truly incredible to have you as a client. I would enjoy being with you. And I know this is just a start for you and where life is going to lead you. But I appreciate you sharing your faith and your encouraging words today for those clients. And so, hey, if you're someone who's watched this video and you're like, hey, I'm Donna. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to start. Let's do this. Let the first step for you would be to reach out. Let's schedule a consultation. I want to hear more specifically about your goals, where you're getting stuck, where you're struggling. And then from there, let's take the next step and see if I'd actually be the right fit for you. And if we would be the right fit, I'd invite you to join my program, my 12-week transformation program, and really start from there and really take that first step in towards regaining your health and gaining the confidence and energy that you've been looking for. So I'll drop a link into the comments so that you can schedule a consultation and we'll go from there. But so Donna, I appreciate you being with me today. I really, really, truly cherish you. I love you, girl. I'm so proud of you. Keep fighting. I know we're not done. And so I'm just excited for you. I'm celebrating you today.
Thank you, Luke. Oh, this has been a pleasure, a real honor. Thank you.
All right, girl. Well, hey, thanks for joining me today. I'll let you get back to work. We'll see you guys later.